has to take in order to move to the next steps. And I think Gary Vee hit it right on the head when he was like, oh, AI is going to take over for influencer market. Like, who wants to work with an influencer who could just go out and get effed up, drunk, high, whatever, and make a humiliation of themselves, especially if they're working brand deals. Like, no one wants that, you know? They were ruining people's lives over that. They were putting these influencers in invisible fences and, like, literally manipulating their circumstances so that they could not live, so that they were, like, the asset, you know? It was wild. But back to so 2020, I started dabbling in, so I was always doing, like, content sales. I was always doing content sales, and I was doing, like, adult platforms. Nothing with another, like, co-star, just all solo content. And I didn't want to do it. Like, I hated doing it. I liked creating content. I liked getting dolled up and writing scripts and, like, staging the space and all of that. I loved that. But I hated, like, the content, the actual context of the content. I hated it. I don't like being objectified. I've always been the woman that's like, why would you do that to yourself? What is wrong with you? Like, I've judged women who have been in, like, the dancing, stripping, etc. and so forth. And then there I was, you know, finding myself, like, working in those environments and just feeling like real shit about myself, you know? And so I tried to, like, write it off as, like, well, that must be it. You know, it must be that I was doing that. But how many girls are there realistically who have worked in that capacity who are living good, you know, and who are not getting all stalked around? Listen to this bogus ass shit, you guys. Listen to this. This is a real true story. I swear to God on everything I love. I went for a biopsy. They thought I had cancer. Okay, a biopsy. My significant other at that time, the one I waited for and was on the reality show with, he was supposed to drive me from the hospital after having the biopsy. He no-showed. He didn't show up. I literally, like, passed out on the ground. The doctor left the room, just left me there. I was just, like, pantsless in, like, a gown. I woke up, like, just sort of discombobulated. I felt so sick and nauseous to my stomach. I felt like death. And my car was in the parking lot, and it was locked. And I have the only key. It's a Cadillac CTS. I have the only key. And I come out of the hospital. Well, first I call from the lobby. I'm like, oh, my God, I hate you. Why didn't you come? I'm so sick. I'm bleeding. I'm throwing up. Like, I feel so sick. And he's like, just take a deep breath, you know, be calm. I'm like, okay. And I finally make it to my car. And while I'm in the biopsy appointment, someone broke into my car and stole my entire makeup bag. And I'm not talking about e.l.f. and NYX. I'm talking about expensive makeup. All MAC, all Smashbox, all Too Faced, all, what else did I have? Morphe, Too Faced, MAC. I'm trying to think what I was using at that time. All makeup from Ulta. My cheapest palette was like a $38 Morphe palette. I'm talking about my whole makeup case, you guys. They stole from my vehicle while I was having a biopsy. Do you understand me? And that was in 2020 or 2019, the end of 2019, October 2019. 2 weeks later, my uncle dies. My uncle, my father's brother, dies. 2 weeks after that, my aunt has a heart attack. 2 weeks prior to my makeup getting stolen, they flooded my apartment and put an $800 boot on my car that I had to pay to get off. Paid to get it off, whatever. It was supposed to go against the money I owed for tickets. They gave me a huge, difficult time saying that I never paid $800 for a boot to get off my car. I'm like, yeah, I did, with witnesses and a receipt. This is Chicago, okay? So I have no idea if it's Chicago doing this, if someone is literally like, you know, because you can't, how do you, like, blame a city? Like, it's the city of Chicago, it's out to get me. Like, you can't do that. It has to be someone who either is incentivizing employees from the city of Chicago, someone who I'm getting in their way, someone who wants me, you know, out of the picture, someone who, you know, it doesn't make sense who or why or what. And you're just trying to make sense of it. You're like, what the fuck? They eventually, like, worked out that whole ticket thing and found out that I was telling the truth. I was on, like, 4 different payment plans. Everyone was claiming to be the city of Chicago. It was like some sort of phishing scheme or like some sort of, I don't know what kind of scheme. They basically would put fake tickets on my windshield with a website on it. And I would go to the website con la cara de pendeja, you know? Oh, let me pay my tickets, blah, blah, blah. And, like, pay these tickets. And it was just going to, like, some third party. Like, just tickets that did not even exist. Plus, then I had actual, like, red light camera tickets, but no moving violations, thank God. And the apartment flooding, the stabbing, the stealing all my makeup while I was in a biopsy, my uncle passing away, then my kids having to go stay with their father because my significant other was beating the out of me. I mean, beating me up, you guys. Like, this man lifted me off the ground by my throat and then dropped me on the floor and started kicking me. And he was on parole. And I called the police and I asked them for help in 2020. And his parole office said there's nothing we can do. That's a direct quote. There's nothing we can do. You're a parole officer, bro. What the fuck do you mean there's nothing you can do? And he said, you need to go and file an EOP, which is like code for emergency order of protection. So I go out to him, I'm like, okay, you know, I get my courage up. I'm like, I'm going to do it. You know, I was like one of those women that was like, and I still am, that was like, you might be beating the hell out of me, but please don't leave because I'm terrified about how bad it's going to get once you're gone, you know? And I had gotten past that. I was like, get the fuck away from me. So that's how you know I was done, because that's not my normal self. And then like the roles reversed and he was like on his knees like, please, I love you. And I'm like, okay, you almost killed me yesterday, bro. You don't love me. And the PO tells me, go to your car, get in the car, go straight to 555 West Harrison and file an EOP. And I'm like, okay, you're right. I got to do this for me, for my kids. I got to do this. You know, I got to be strong. And I go out to my car. Lo and behold, this mother had disconnected my starter. I don't know how to reconnect a starter. Yay. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you so much. I don't know how to reconnect a starter. I don't know how to, you know, do any of that. I don't know how to change an oil or whatever. So he disconnects the starter in my car and I can't get there. Thank you so much, Crystal. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. So I jump on the train. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to get there. I'm going to file it. It's going to be all good. I get there and file it. And they tell me you can't file because he just like minutes before you requested one on you. Requested one on me? Okay. I get home and they throw me out of my house. So understand, like, put this in perspective. They flood my apartment twice, jump and stab me 11 times with screwdrivers, 3 women, boot my car for $800 purge, put about $1,000 worth of tickets on my vehicle that I paid off, all of them, and then some, that were fake tickets, come to find out. Steal all my makeup while I'm in biopsy for cancer, to check if I have cancer. It was all good, by the way. My uncle passes away. This man almost kills me, literally. He flips the script and gets an EOP on me when all of this is like in like a 6-month period. When in actuality, like, he definitely was beating the hell out of me, like, real bad. And he was also dosing me on a number of things. Ketamine. He was giving me, well, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into the details of that. There was a lot of shit going on. Real bad. And I was not the perpetrator. Okay, I can tell you that much. So all of this is going on, and they stole all my makeup. They started stealing my clothes. I come home after the EOP was thrown away. His was found to be, what do they say in court when it's a lie? They found his to be, they dismissed it. And I was able to go back home. And I get back home and this man is in my bed with a bitch. Yep. I swear I could not make this up. I'm like, oh, okay. Fabulous. Like, this is great. Love this. Love this for me. And the whole time, you guys, like, all this stuff is happening, and it's like, whoop, like, it's like, oh, I got stabbed today, but my kids are home tomorrow, so are you guys hungry? Have you guys done your homework? Everyone at the table, it's time for homework. Showers in 10 minutes. Like, this is the way my life looks. Like, one day I'm like, who the fuck just stabbed me? What the fuck? Where the fuck are the police? This is some bullshit. 12 hours later, I'm, okay, guys, well, where are your backpacks? Get backpacks by the door, please. Backpacks by the door. Lunches are made. Everyone's ready. Your shoes are, your outfit's laid out. Your outfit's laid out, right? Fantastic. Okay, great. 12 hours later, there's a fucking boot on my car. Why the fuck did you guys put a boot on my car? I just got done paying all these tickets. This is ridiculous. Ma'am, you need to report to blah, blah, blah. I have got stab wounds all over my body, ma'am. I cannot walk to Pulaski and Foster to pay an $800 purge to get this boot off. Well, ma'am, well, blah, 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 blah. I walked the fuck all the way there. I think someone Ubered me halfway. Paid the $800. Kids come home that night. Back to the same old mom life. You guys hungry? What do you want for dinner? You can play after you're done. No fighting over the remote.